they invited me today to speak on Bhagavad Gita, Harikatha, and would like to really thank them for giving me this opportunity. Let's see here in Zoom. Yes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Janavala Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari Gopi
Jaya
Janavala
Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yamuna Tira Banachati
Jamuna Tira Banachari
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Jamuna Tira Banachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya
Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari
Yashodanandana Raja Janarandana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Jamuna Tira Banachari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo,
Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So we have Rupa Vilas Prabhu here, and we have so many devotees, so he can do quick intro, and then after that we can begin the lecture, Maharaj. So Rupa Vilas Prabhu, we can go ahead and do the introduction. Prabhu.
Okay.
Welcome. Okay,
Hare Krishna.
we welcome you to this program, Maharaj. So,
Hare
His
Krishna.
Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardhana Swami Maharaj. He is a resident of Vrindavan, and he is Vice President of ISKCON Vrindavan. He has many administrative responsibilities there. He is in charge of youth training, in charge of brahmachari training, and teaches Krishna consciousness to youth and brahmacharis. Also, he is ongoing festival coordinator for many festivals, including the annual Kartik Rath Yatra, Kartik festival.
No, nothing is going on. It's pandemic.
Yes,
Only Sangha through virtual. Is what's going on.
So Maharaj is originally from Philippines, and he was very much interested in spiritual aspect of life from his very childhood. And Maharaj tells that he came in contact with Srila Prabhupada's books early in his teenage, when he was only 15 years old. And then he started reading book, and later in 1980 he moved to Canada, and there he met devotees after some time. And he joined ISKCON Toronto. He was serving there full time, visited Vrindavan in 87, and he loved Vrindavan so much, he became permanent resident of Vrindavan, Holy Dham.
I don't know about permanent. Only Brajabasis are permanent.
Yes, you are permanent, Maharaj, now.
We are visitors.
So we are very fortunate to have you here, Maharaj. So without further delay, please welcome here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, once again, would like to thank you, the St. Louis Yatra, for inviting us. So I'm just going to chant the Mangala Charanam, and then we will proceed. The verse from the Bhagavad Gita that I chose from the 9th chapter, text number, I think it's 9. Oh, sorry, 7th. I thought it's 7. Oh, I thought it was 9, sorry. Yes, in the 7th chapter.
Maharaj, if you like, you can share your screen also.
I don't know how I might be able to sorry, rather
Okay, that's fine.
do, just 1 second. I have to change this. 7th chapter, text 14. Sorry. Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Let me see if I can change this also. Om Ajnanantimirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Kamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Bindavaniswari Visavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please excuse me, I have a little cough. Hare Krishna. So I chose a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which mostly being the Srila Prabhupada, he often quoted this verse. Daivihi sa gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam evaye prapajante mayam etam tarantite. Let me open first here in my the computer so that I can read it better. A little slow. Daivihi shagunamayi mama maya durachaya mam evaya prabhatyante mayamitam tarantide. Synonyms, word for word meaning. Daivi, transcendental. He, certainly. Esha, this. Gunamayi, consisting of the three modes of material nature. Mama, my. Maya, energy. Duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. Mam, unto me. Eva, certainly. Ye, those who. Prapadyante, surrender. Mayam etam, this illusory energy. Taranti, overcome. Te, they. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Again, this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Yes. Supreme Lord being transcendental, He is the cause of all causes. Janmadi Ashayataha. Everything emanates from Him. He is the cause of everything, and therefore all of His energies are divine. Prabhupada gave an example, just like electricity. You can use it in heater or you can use it in cooler. The same electricity, same energy. So similarly, the Supreme Lord's, all of His energy, Parasya Shakti, Suyati sa Characharam. Parasya Shakti, Jnana Bala Kriyacha. This divine energy, unlimited. Although the living entities are part of His energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. So there are three main energies of the Supreme Lord, namely the Antaranga Shakti, or the internal potency, internal energy, the spiritual energy, the Bahiranga Shakti, the material energy or the external energy, and the Tatastha Shakti, marginal energy, the Jivas. So there are three main. And the Jivas can be either in the material or in the spiritual world. It depends on their choice, where they want to be. If they want to experience independence, separate from the Supreme Lord, to be happy, then they come to the material world, and but they become subjugated. They become covered up by the material energy, mainly because they identify the body as the self. But however, if one wants to get out of this material world, then he has to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is superior of all. So being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. Very difficult. This is what it says. Daivihi Gunamayi, this divine energy, is certainly very difficult to overcome. This Gunamayi, this threefold modes of material nature, the three modes, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. This is the predominating energy in the material world. And it says in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a stamp mark also, Bhagavad Gita, Dukalayam Asasbata. The material world is full of miseries and it is also temporary, Ashashvata. This is the nature of the material world. The nature of the spiritual world is Satchit Ananda, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. And the material world is full of miseries. It's the opposite of full of happiness, full of miseries and sufferings, full of ignorance, and life is temporary. So it is very difficult to overcome, even though the jivas who are superior in nature compared to the material energy, but because of their identification with the body, as the self, then they become covered up with these different modes of material nature. Mm. As previously, mm, as previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature, matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Badha, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. So the coming in contact of the material in the material world by the jivas, mm, the living entities, is cannot be traced, and therefore they are called Nitya Badha, eternally conditioned souls. Nitya, eternally conditioned. Hmm. But actually, it's not eternally conditioned, because they can also free themselves from the clutches of the material energy. It's not eternal. Once being bound by the modes of material nature, the jivas also will have, if they chosen to, get out of this material world. So when one stays in the material world, they are inflicted by different miseries. Mm. It says there are fourfold miseries, and then there's threefold miseries. Fourfold miseries means birth, death, old age, and disease. This is the nature of the material world. Mm. One takes birth here, then as soon as it takes birth, then all the sufferings and miseries begins. Mm. Disease. Who wants disease nowadays? There are different kinds of disease. Different disease are being introduced to the jivas uh, every day, or we go old age. Who wants to grow old? No one wants to grow old. Wants to stay, to remain young as possible. And death. No one wants to die, because the nature of the soul is eternal. So we don't want to die. I mean, the body will perish. The body will um, give up, but the soul remains the same as the first teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Hmm? Dehinos minyata dehi komaram yobanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuyate. As the embodied soul continuously passes on from boyhood to youth, to old age, so similarly at the time of death, the soul passes on to the next body. So the nature of this world is like this. There are also threefold miseries. Miseries which is being inflicted by our body, that includes the mind. Miseries being inflicted by other living entities, like animals, insects. There are also miseries is being inflicted by natural calamities. So the whole world is facing this so much varieties of um, miseries and sufferings. This is part of being in the material world. Uh, the material world is not created by the Supreme Lord to inflict pain to the conditioned souls, but somehow that is part of the material world. It's like if you want to go, Prabhupada give example, if you want to go to a very exotic place, it's just like when you get there, oh, there's a big package. Everything is like, it's like for everyone to experience. Uh, nice air, breathe. You can breathe very fresh air, nice fruits and exotic vegetables and all these things that comes along with it. So similarly, when one comes to the material world, that's part of it. Everyone has to experience this. So especially nowadays that our world actually is has changed a lot. The year 2020 is almost over. Only a few more days to go according to our Gregorian calendar. Time will change in the next few days. The calendar, it'll be like 2021. Time is passing by very fast, but things are not really getting any better. There's no improvement. As we can see, the whole year 2020, all of the people, their lives became upside down. It's not the same anymore. We don't function the same anymore. We don't have that much freedom. In some places in the world, like countries in Europe, they have a lockdown. No movement at all. No, it's like being in a prison house. Really, locked down. You cannot move around. You can only go if you in need of something necessary to, like food, something. Then you can go and buy. Other than that, it's not the same as like before. Like especially now we're in the holiday season. All over the world, they are also celebrating this called Christmas holiday season. The mood is supposed to be like festive. The mood is supposed to be full of joy and gaiety, celebration, like family get together. But nowadays, it's not happening. It doesn't seem to be like Christmas at all. Families, even if they belong to the same family, but they live in different dwellings, they cannot get together. So this is like really trying times. This is very difficult times where we are right now. And Kali Yuga is still fresh. Only 5,000 years old, so to speak. A little bit over 5,000 years old. Kali Yuga, the age of hypocrisy, the age where the opposite of Satya Yuga, golden age. Everything is topsy-turvy. All the different unwanted things that we don't like happens in Kali Yuga. People are short-lived. I can even read some of this if you like, so that we can feel a little bit of what is Kali Yuga, because this is where we are right now, and we have to face this life where there's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of endeavor just to maintain oneself, just to make oneself even alive, especially in this day and age. And we're going to see more and more of this signs of life, especially in the age of Kali, age of quarrel, or age of hypocrisy. So, but we have to surpass this, and we can surpass this actually. But it's very difficult. It says here in the verse, very difficult to overcome this divine energy. But this is only possible when one surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. He'll be able to cross beyond it, because many times the whole world is compared to an ocean full of miseries and sufferings. or the material world is compared to a forest that's on fire. It's very difficult to get out. Or if you're in an ocean, it's very difficult to cross. But it becomes easy and it's possible, especially under the guidance of an able captain. The captain of the boat is considered as the spiritual master, and the favorable wind are the Vedas, the Shastra. So yes, then the conditioned soul will be able to get out of this being entangled, being a Nitya Badha. Then he can become a Nitya Mukta, Jivan Mukta, Nitya Mukta, this eternally liberated soul. So yes, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy. Because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Yes, material energy, personified Durga. She is also called Vaishnavi or Krishna. She's a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, and this is her service towards the Supreme Lord. Her service towards the Supreme Lord is also unconditional. And because this is under the supreme will of the Supreme Lord as well, so the living entity who is under the clutches of the material energy, identifying themselves as this part of the material energy, then it's very difficult for them to go cross beyond it. So I'm just going to read a little bit part of this, because you see, as long as we don't understand that we are suffering, then it's very, very difficult to be determined to get out. A person is very covered up by the modes of material nature, then he is what we call in illusion, in Maya. And one who is in Maya, it's difficult for him to know what is right, what is wrong, what is truth, and what is false. Somebody has to tell him. Somebody has to guide him. So the Supreme Lord, he actually he doesn't like for us to be here. As much as possible, he wanted us to be released from these miseries and sufferings of this material world. So the conditioned soul who has a little bit of intelligence, he would want to inquire how to get out of this material world. He'll find ways, and Krishna as the Paramatma, he will give some signs, and he will also direct the conditioned souls to meet a bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord himself. So the Supreme Lord will make all the arrangements for us to get out of these sufferings and miseries. And that's why the process also is given by the Supreme Lord how to do this. One has to perform bhakti. We have to perform devotional service in a favorable way. So in this way, it will increase the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And along with that, our activities in the process of devotional service, which starts from hearing and chanting and remembering, and so on. Then we can become successful in doing the process. We have to combat the material energy, the material desires, the material ignorance. We have to destroy karma and so on. And bhakti can do this. But ultimately, devotees of the Supreme Lord, or those who are aspiring to become devotees, they're not just there to simply combat or fight the material energy. We're not there also to just fight the material desire and material ignorance and to destroy karma, because the ultimate goal is simply to express more and more affection for the Supreme Lord by developing 100 attraction for the Lord. Yes, Krishna is all attractive, and by performing bhakti, Krishna becomes attracted to the devotee. When we increase our affection to the Supreme Lord, our love to the Supreme Lord by following, rendering this devotional service, 9 processes under the guidance of a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, then he's able to also, the devotee attracts the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. So the nature of the Lord is that he shows his affection for bhakti. Anyone who performs bhakti, it's like we were talking about this morning. There's what you call Bhakti Shakti, another energy of the Supreme Lord. Bhakti. This Bhakti Shakti is the energy by which the devotees received from the Supreme Lord. The more we try to endeavor sincerely in our life to develop our love towards the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord reciprocates by giving this Bhakti Shakti to the devotee, so that the devotee will become more and more inspired, become more and more determined to become successful in his development of love of God, this prema bhakti. So the ultimate perfection of the jiva is when the Lord gets attracted to the jiva to such an extent that he falls under the control of that devotee. Then that devotion is called prema. So the goal of life, this is what, see, there is no other way how we can get out of the miseries and sufferings of this material world. But anyone who somehow partakes in the process of developing love of God by the practice of bhakti yoga, through under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then all of these miseries and sufferings may be inflicted towards that person. However, he does not, because of proper knowledge and intelligence, he's not really getting so affected. It's not getting so affected. Yes, the path of perfection for the jiva, where actually the Lord falls under the control of the devotee in prema. So, you see, the more we surrender, then the more we're be able to get the protection of the Supreme Lord, and the more we're not going to get affected by these different sufferings and miseries that we mentioned earlier. There must be an eagerness for the devotee or for the conditioned souls to get out of this material world. Then he will take up to the process of devotional service. This is what we should be doing. We should, especially in times of difficulty nowadays, we should take shelter more of the holy name of the Supreme Lord, chant more. We should read more Srila Prabhupada's books. Try to study them scrutinizingly. And also because of this pandemic, we're not able to get together so much. So through virtual sangha like this, what we're doing, because devotional service, advancement in devotional service depends on the association also of how eager we are to associate with each other. Because wherever there is sadhu sangha or Vaishnava sangha, then the there is no effect of the material energy. One, it comes to the transcendental platform immediately. He transcends these different modes of material nature and all the miseries and sufferings of this world. So as much as possible, also, if it is allowable, or if you have that capacity, also to tell others. The more you tell others about Krishna, then the more you also become purified, and the more you also become not enamored or not being affected by the modes of material nature, this material energy. So yes, this love of God is the goal of all the practicing devotees, and this is the only way. Developing love of God by surrendering unto Him under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master will be able to get beyond these difficulties that we're facing, especially in this day and age. Otherwise, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. And things will not get better. Things will not get better. People are very, yes, we should be optimistic, of course, but according to the Shastra, to the symptoms, to the signs of Kali Yuga, um, it's the whole world is going degraded and degraded and degraded. Um, I'll just read a little bit of some description based from the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 2, the symptoms of Kali Yuga. And then I'll open up for questions and any comments. Sukadev Goswami said, "Then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. Men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction. And success in business will depend on deceit. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex, and a man will be known as a Brahmana just by his wearing a thread. A person's spiritual position will be ascertained merely according to external symbols, and at that same basis, people will change from one spiritual order to the next. A person's property will be seriously questioned if he does not earn a good living. And one who is very clever at juggling words will be considered a learned person. A person will be judged unholy if he does not have money, and hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal agreement, and a person will think he is fit to appear in public if he has merely taken a bath. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water located at a distance. And beauty will be taught to depend on one's hairstyle. Filling the belly will become the goal of life, and one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. He can maintain a family. He who can maintain a family will be regarded as an expert man, and the principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation." So it goes on and on and on and on. So yes, the only way how we can, as Prabhupada says also, there's a Bengali saying, when you go fishing, don't get wet. So similarly, it's unavoidable to suffer and receive these different miseries that's being inflicted to us in different ways. But this can only be mitigated, and one can cross over this if we surrender unto the Supreme Lord. This is the surrendering process is been given by the Supreme Lord in the Shastra. How we can do this? By rejecting what is unfavorable towards devotional service, accepting which is favorable in devotional service, revealing our mind towards the Supreme Lord, taking shelter unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and consider Him as our only friend. And ultimately, the surrender means giving up everything, all of our, including the body, mind, words, only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, including the very self, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord. So this is the only way how we can easily cross beyond all of these things that we are in. There is no escape. There's no escape, but you can be released. The release is that when one be able to please the Supreme Lord, when one, especially in a day and age, in Kali Yuga, the best process is hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord and remembering Him, His pastimes, His entourage, His activities, His appearance. And it's guaranteed, Lord Krishna, He guarantees to Arjuna that his devotee will never perish. He'll be protected. And he will not be able to be affected by these different calamities and disasters and crises that's going on. We have to strengthen up our sadhana. The sadhana, two parts, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. We were discussing this morning about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, the practice whereby in the beginning we have to force ourselves, perform these austerities. Austerities means performing activities which it may not be to our liking, but we are eager to attain a certain goal, and the only means to attain that goal is by performing these activities that we may not be willing to do, but that's the price we have to pay. Sadhana bhakti means regulative principles and be regulated. Practice regulations means like getting up early in the morning, perform Mangalarti, chant number, amount of rounds, specific number, amount, or rounds, and as much as possible dedicate oneself towards the Supreme Lord and be engaged in Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the more we try to broadcast and make this effort to give others Krishna consciousness, then the more we also not get affected. One comes to the transcendental platform, and he performs this with so much enthusiasm and eagerness to help others also to get out of this material world. So the process, they're all given by the acharyas, the sastras, the spiritual master. All we have to do is we have to follow them to the best of our ability, to the best of our knowledge. And in this way, we should be able to also get out of this material world if we do it sincerely, and we should be able to willing to pay the price, which is greedy. We have to be greedy. It's like the materialists, non-devotees are greedy for sense enjoyment, money. So similarly, devotees also are very eager and very greedy to perform bhakti, devotional service. So this is how we can do the best of the bad bargain. It's a bad bargain that we are having right now, but we have to do whatever we have and not be discouraged. We should be inspired because many of our devotees are doing very well even in this trying times by becoming Krishna conscious, by giving Krishna consciousness to others, like book distribution, or if you can have Harinam, it's like in some other temples, at least they do once a month, but in other temples, not possible, complete lockdown. Or you can have prasadam distribution also, distribute sanctified food uh, in this day and age. That will help others also to become Krishna conscious, and we also become Krishna conscious in this way, and we'll not be able to be affected by um, the external things that's happening in this world. Okay, so I stop here. If there is any questions or comments, please. We'll be happy to hear you also in
Thank you
Zoom
so much,
land.
Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So you can unmute yourself, turn the camera on, pay your obeisances, and you can interact with Maharaj. This is the beautiful opportunity for you to, open your heart and ask if you have any questions. So do not hesitate. Please take the opportunity. And if you have any questions that you would like to get your answer on, you can turn your camera on and talk to Maharaj directly. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Let's start.
Hare Krishna.
So before,
Or you can type it.
yeah, or
Yes.
you can also send in the chat room too. So Maharaj, how long you are in Toronto? I was thinking that maybe we can have some more programs while you were there. I know that you'll be packed.
Well, I'm not in Toronto. I'm in Vancouver.
Okay. So how many days you were there, Maharaj? For some time?
We'll be here for a few more days.
Oh, a few
Maybe
more
a few
days
more
only.
weeks. Few more weeks. Indefinite. We're not 100% how
Okay.
long we'll be here, but we'll be happy to have you
Yes, Maharaj.
associate.
Yes, we'll come back and we'll see if we can have some more programs while you were there. Thank you so much. Baldev Prabhu, are you there? You have anything that you'd like to share?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hi, Bo.
Thank you for being with us this evening. I have a more of a question, not necessarily on the topic tonight, but
Okay.
I know that it appears that you spent a lot of time with Indra Prabhu. It appears that you've spent a lot of time with Indra Prabhu.
Well,
I'm wondering if you could maybe
sometime.
just share a couple of stories of maybe some time you've spent with him.
Well, there. You see, he's a best example of a person who's wanted to give everyone the opportunity to develop their relationship with the Supreme Lord by this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Is one of the best examples. There are many examples in our movement but he's one whereby he dedicated himself to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and propagate chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And he walked his talk. He's very humble. He's not there for show. He's there genuinely to when he chants the holy name of the Lord. He is singing, especially, is meant for the pleasure and to glorify the Supreme Lord, not to put more air into one's ego, puffed up his, or make his ego more puffed up. No, he's very humble. Is very dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. You will only find him in 3 places because he doesn't go out of the 4 walls of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. So if he's not in the temple room chanting, he will be in his room doing his puja, worship of his deities. And if he's not there, he's in the latrine. What is he doing, latrine? In the toilet. He's there cleaning, washing the toilet to set examples for others. And all of the devotees, 24-hour department also have or had one time or a few times doing this service. Yes. What can I say? He said also one time, I've heard, yes, you can imitate my singing, but you cannot imitate my consciousness. Yeah, devotees, because the 24-hour kirtan melodies, they're very popular amongst all the devotees of ISKCON. So, yes, and they're very catchy tunes, melodies. So it's easy to chant, but what is our consciousness really while we are chanting? Oh, for that matter, even our rounds. What is it? Because bhakti means ultimately, what is our intention? That's what counts the most. Our intention, our motive, our desire, why we're doing what we are doing. And Ayendra Prabhu is, I would consider him as very selfless. He gave himself. He 24 years actually. He did kirtan, Krishna Balaram Mandir. 24 years. So it's a long time. And yes, what can I say? I can tell more, but anyway, any other question or any comments?
Thank you, Maharaj.
We can talk more about Ayendra in some other day. Yes. Any other points? Any comments? We have to prioritize in our life the hearing and chanting. If this is the priority, then it doesn't matter what reversals in life may come to us, what difficulties nature may give to us or other living entities, or even our health, physical health. But we'll be able to endure, we'll be able to carry on if we're strong in our determination. And especially when we get the association of those devotees who are very determined in their practice of devotional service. Is very important. Okay.
Maharaj, Maharaj,
Yes.
so you also mentioned that I have been hearing that now it's not going to get better. So we are expecting that soon there will be vaccination and devotee can. So
Well, That is like wishful thinking. Yes, but something else will happen after this. You see, vaccination is just not once. You have to be vaccinated twice. You know the best vaccine? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even if you get vaccinated by this anti-COVID or this antibodies, you still have to die. This is not the end of disease. There's some mutations coming from England, right? So it's just this. You're like fighting like aliens here. You don't know. You don't know. Maya is like, actually our main enemy is Maya. Our main enemy is the material. It's not enemy, but the attraction of Maya is there. But the main thing now is we have to transfer our attraction from Maya to Krishna. Then we have many more diseases and many more vaccines, but you cannot escape the cycle of repeated birth and death. Only when we surrender unto Krishna, then we can get free from the cycle of repeated birth and death and love of God. No, it will not be better, Prabhu.
Yes, that's what I'm also getting, Maharaj. It's not going to get better now. So we have to be more Krishna conscious.
Trump is stopping the $600 benefit. He wanted to make it $2,000. So why not give the 600 first, and then you can get 1,400 later, or something like that, right?
Yes,
it's complete bogus.
Thank you, Benugopal Prabhu. Anything?
Trying to help, but it's not really helping.
Yes, Maharaj.
Only the devotees of the Lord are the real, the best social welfare. The best social welfare activity is being done by the devotees. We're really helping the conditioned souls. If we give them Krishna consciousness, then they don't have to suffer anymore. They don't have to take birth again. They'll go back home, back to Godhead. That is the best vaccine that one can give, Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam, right?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
How many books did you distribute in St. Louis?
So we have a team, Maharaj, and due to COVID, definitely Missouri has been one of the heavily impacted place. So the government has some regulation in place, and they are not letting devotees together. But still, we are trying to find a way. Recently, we had Gita Jayanti. So on that occasion, we are trying to promote the book distribution. So we are trying our best, giving everything going on around.
You still have a few more days.
Yes, Maharaj.
I'd like to encourage the devotees who are listening to in this Zoom or in the YouTube, they can give actually Bhagavad Gitas through, if they subsidize, if they give donation, we will distribute the books for you. We have many books that would like to give to others. And by doing so, subsidizing, we can distribute books for them. So in this way, they're also distributing books. This is what we do in India. In some temples, they do it. Also in America. So I hope you can do it also, subsidizing.
Sure, Maharaj, sure. Definitely we'll try to stay in touch with you and get your guidance. I definitely feel fortunate that I'm getting the opportunity on behalf of our temple to having your guidance. So thank you so much, Maharaj. Anybody has anything else? Maybe we have some time we can discuss. We can take one or two more questions. Venugopal Prabhu, Brajaswari Mataji, Bhupal Prabhu, anybody has anything that they would like to?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hari bol Rahi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I'll grow to Srila Prabhupada.
Hari bol.
Maharajji, I have a question about how do we make sure we are progressing in Krishna consciousness and we are in a path to attain the love of God.
Oh, well, the equation is like the more you become attached and attracted towards the Supreme Lord, His devotees in bhakti, then the more your taste for Maya, material energy, decreases. The attraction, your material desires also decreases. And this is the symptom. This is the sign of one who is advancing in Krishna consciousness. He is more eager to be with the devotees than with the materialist. He is more eager to hear and chant and read transcendental topics instead of mundane activities. So it correlates. The more you advance in Krishna consciousness, then the more your attraction towards Maya decreases. You cannot be in both. It's not possible. One may become crazy. one might lose his balance. He will lose his balance anyway. And how to be balanced? How to be balanced to become Krishna conscious? That means you have to put more emphasis, priority in spiritual practice. There's no such thing as 50-50 here. You gotta say, okay, I'll be in 50 in Maya, 50 in Krishna. It doesn't work. Either you're just in Maya. Okay. Prabhupada says, if Krishna says, if you want to forget Krishna, Krishna will make all the arrangements for you to forget him. But if you want to become Krishna conscious, then Krishna will make all the arrangements. He will give all the facilities for you to become Krishna conscious. But you cannot say, Krishna, I can only take 50-50. It will not work. That means you're in Maya. So we try to get out of Maya by becoming Krishna conscious. And Krishna will help us. This is his promise. Krishna will give us more the intelligence. What? Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. To those who are conversing, who are always talking about him, then Krishna will give them the intelligence from which they can come to him. So yes, you can check. And if you cannot check, if you don't know what to do, then you ask a dear devotee friend how he can give you some guidelines. But ultimately, one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And then the bona fide spiritual master is very expert and he's be able to guide and give direction from which the aspiring devotee will get out of this Maya. Okay?
Thank you, Maharajji.
Thanks, Ravi. Okay. Any more points? Any more question? Shall we end here?
Yes, Maharajji. So if there is no more questions, then we would like to adjourn here.
I wish you all a happy new year. Well, every day is a new year for the devotee. It's not just after 3 or 4 days it's a new year. No, every day is a new year. But actually, we have new year also, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Actually, our new year is Gaur Purnima, because we changed our calendar also after Gaur Purnima. Gaurabda. Gaurabda. This is our calendar. For the Hindus, it's like Diwali. The Chinese also, they have a new year, their own new year. For the Christians, their new year is the 1st of Jan. But for the devotees, every day is a new year. Every day is a new hope. It's always fresh. They change the calendar. They said it's a new year. What is it that? Changing the calendar, making it a new year? No. The new year means one lives his life for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. He dedicates his life for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. And we're doing that. We're trying in any way. In any case, we're trying to do that every day for the pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. So, yes, Grihastas, chant more. Not just Grihastas, actually everybody, but Grihastas specifically because of their involvement in worldly activities. They need more of the ammunition. They need more of the shield. They need more of the shield how to fight Maya. The Maya on their side. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharajji. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. We will try to touch base with you to see if we can do something on the New Year day. So we'll maybe get back to you tomorrow or sometimes the day after tomorrow.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Swami Maharaj ki. Nine graces Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ऐसे भक्त वृंद की जय गौर प्रेम नंदी हरि हरि
हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण
तरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एवश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः सेंट लुइस यात्रा की जय
हरे कृष्ण
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. Dandavad. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna devotees. So for New Year, we are thinking that if you can just give me 2 minutes before you sign off. For New Year, maybe I'll invite Maharaji to have some lecture midday, maybe around lunchtime. We'll work out on that. See how we can basically have some, Krishna conscious start of our New Year. And also we are going to have our 4 hours kirtan. So 3:30 to 7:30. Maybe we'll chant a little longer. We'll plan for that. So we are going to have some classes on New Year, and I'll talk to Lal Gopal Prabhu and other devotees to see if we can have some lectures midday around noon time, and then after that we can have our regular kirtan that we do on New Year Eve. Thank you so much. And association means you should be opening your heart and asking questions. If you have anything, just to we learn from each other questions. So if you have anything, please do not hesitate and ask. Thank you so much for your association, and we'll see you all tomorrow in our regular Bhagavatam recitation. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to everybody. Hari Bol.